Once you finish building your piece of furniture, you might want to add some extra color to it. I'm Dave Trull at the Trull Gallery, and I'm going to talk to you about how to use wood stain. The materials we're going to need here is the wooden piece you're going to stain, some stain itself, and some clean rags to work with. And what you want to make sure of is if you're using a good quality stain and you've done all your prep work, all your sanding on your piece, it's a very simple process and it can be done quick and easy. First thing you're going to do is, as I mentioned, you've already done your prep work, you've sanded. I like to sand through 180 grit, maybe 220 grit. That way I have a nice clean piece that I'm working with. Then wipe down your piece with a tack rag. And that's not mandatory at this point, but the cleaner you keep your stock, the less dust is going to get on your rags, and you're going to get actually a cleaner finish while you're working. So I like to go ahead and tack it off first. Then go ahead and open your can of stain and make sure you stir it up. A lot of the pigment in the stain can settle out over time. If it's been on a store shelf for a long time, or even in your garage, you want to make sure you get all the pigment back into solution so that you get a nice even color. Once you've got your stain stirred up, go ahead and put on some gloves. You can just use some inexpensive gloves like I have, basically dishwashing gloves, just to keep the stain off your hands. Then get yourself your nice clean cloth. T-shirts work great. Anything, really a nice cotton material. And basically you just want to fold it up so you have a nice pad to work with. Dip your cloth into the stain, get it nice and saturated, and then proceed to work your stain into the wood. And it doesn't matter if you go across the grain, with the grain. Right now you just want to get the stain on there and make sure you get a nice even coat. Working in small areas, you don't want to go do like an entire tabletop by pouring it on and pulling it off. You want to work in fairly small areas, maybe a square foot at a time. Wipe your stain on, change over to a clean cloth, wipe off the excess, and that's when I like to do my last pass going with the grain. It's not a huge issue. You just want to make sure you don't, when you're working with the grain, you can make sure you don't get any extra stain sitting there. It's actually easier to see it when you wipe it off with the grain. As you keep moving forward, you want to overlap a little, and as you wipe off, your line of where you've already stained, where you've just stained, will just blend in seamlessly. And you don't have to work really fast. You can work at a comfortable pace. And the nice thing is wood will only absorb so much stain. So you're not going to get dark areas and light areas on most woods. Some woods do splotch more than others. Cherry does tend to splotch a little, maple splotches, and pine can splotch as well. So once you get your entire piece done, give it one final wipe down. Make sure you get all your edges, your end grain. Your end grain is always going to absorb more than your long grain is, so it's going to look a little darker. But just go back over the whole thing, wipe off any excess, make sure you don't get any drips. If you do get drips, they will actually show as darker areas. Not that the wood is absorbing it, but the drip itself has nowhere to go and it dries on the side or the edge of your piece and just makes it a little bit more noticeable. So just take a little extra time to wipe off all the edges. So that's how to use wood stain. I'm Dave Trull at the Trull Gallery, the fine art of furniture making.